And we're live. Here we
Hello.
go.
That
I
was
guys think. Oh, and we're already
oh,
getting some issues already. Fantastic.
nice.
So how go things, guys? Welcome back to another Sentai wrap up where we talk about all things Super Sentai as well as Zenkaiger, the latest series. So obviously we've got a few things to talk about because we've obviously had the most recent episode, episode 30. Um, Also, Mark doesn't like to be in position for some reason.
Just let me go. Let me go anywhere. I can't see where I am. Just let
Okay.
let an OBS be like frick it, put it there. I'll be like, okay, I'll go
Oh,
there.
no, it's moving the wrong thing there. Okay, let's try that. There we go. So yeah, probably helps to do test images next time. But anyway, new setup as you can probably tell. Got better lighting now, so that always helps. Other than
That's
that,
good.
yeah. So back where we were. So yeah, back to Sentai wrap up. Yeah, awesome stuff that we got coming in this particular episode, especially one particular feature that we know we definitely needed from the straight off from the beginning. I was hoping they'll have this, but they didn't. Very frustrating. It's almost like it came in the wrong order, isn't it? Like it's just gone, oh, we'll have this and then that, but like, it should have been this, then that, then this. We'll fully go into detail on that in a second. So, but
You're gonna have to go into detail on that one.
but yeah, first things first as well. As always, Henshin here with all that Sentai hype. With me
Yeah,
as always, would you like to introduce yourself, good sir?
I'm Erlim. I'm the guy that talks about Super Sentai and Power Rangers, and says everything that you want. I am the unhinged person that talks about Power Rangers.
So, one thing I wanted to address actually, like just like little light talk first. So, obviously you got Ranger wrap up restarting again. So I was just wondering why you went on the previous show.
Because I was at my friend's birthday,
Ah, shame, shame.
dressed as a Starfleet captain or admiral.
Wait, Star Trek based?
No, it was a fancy dress
Oh,
party, and I
just
thought
yeah, just any.
I was like, I'll go as a Voyager stroke Deep Space Nine uniformed person. I think I look
Nice,
pretty
nice,
good.
nice, nice.
Look
Fair
good in
enough.
red.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, pretty awesome. Too bad you obviously didn't in the past show because I've been watching that. If you guys haven't seen Ranger Wrap Up, which I'm sure you probably have, you should probably check it out.
Yeah, go
um,
check it out.
but yeah. Obviously the subject of today that we have to talk about is Ultrazords in Sentai because obviously there's not been a great amount, but like in the grand scheme of things, that is because of the proportions where there's more seasons of Super Sentai. However, there have been quite a plethora of them over the years, especially from
Mm.
Ranger onwards, because even we've seen them in Power Rangers. So, yeah, that would be one of the interesting subjects to talk about. So yeah,
Jezza says, sup homies,
yo, what's up, my dude? Glad you could join us.
as,
Oh, I've also
as
got
well as
Ice
Ice
Cream
Cream
Man
Man.
616. That's new. I love that name. That's great. Welcome, Ice Cream Man. Like I can't believe I'm actually stating that out loud. But yeah, awesome. So original. I mean, this I've, like apart from the other 615, but so yeah, this has really been a great episode actually. Like I've enjoyed this one. But I think we should generally talk about what's been happening recently in like Super Sentai in general. So let me just quickly double check something real quick because the last thing I want to do is do this in the wrong order. So
Being watched now.
okay, yeah. So one thing that I've been seeing a lot of recently is that we've obviously got the 10th anniversary of Time Ranger coming soon. Or is it, no,
Mm.
is it 10th or 20th? No, 20th, sorry.
I have no idea.
Of course it's 20th, duh. It's not like Gokaiger happened at the same time as Time Ranger.
Really? God damn it, Bryn. Get your timelines in fact.
But yeah, I thought this is a pretty significant thing to talk about because if Gokaiger's got their anniversary and we haven't seen anything from Time Ranger yet, maybe something will come soon for Time Ranger. We'll have to wait and see.
Isn't it 10 year that they do? They don't do like 20 year.
Yeah, but I suppose it's for the more sort of like grander seasons. Like you wouldn't do
Mm.
anything for Bokenja at the same time as Gokaiger, for instance. So, you know, but I suppose, something could come up. You never know. Like, even if it's just a Premier Collection, because I know the
Yeah.
Premier Collection often has their sort of things come up and whatnot. So you know, some little things here and there, they're for everyone really. So no matter what season you enjoy, there's bound to be something that comes into play really.
Mm.
I mean, they did it for Deca Range,
Yeah,
didn't they? Deca Range had a 10th anniversary and did something for that. But yeah. Oh, wrestling figure collector. What's up, guys? And how are you doing today?
doing
Pretty
pretty
swell,
well.
pretty swell. Yeah.
Doing pretty well, wrestling figure collector. Thank you very much for asking. But
Aye.
with 10 year, it's like, so the next one's going to be it'll be, what was after Go Buster will have their 10 year one.
True.
And then obviously it goes in order. If they, I wonder if they would do like 20 year, so like they get to it and go but at the moment they're all mainly focused on the Gokaiger film, which is out soon. I really, really wish we could watch it.
Yeah, me too. Me
So
too.
badly want to watch that film.
Yeah, I think that particular film as well is definitely going to be one that will continue to push out how good Gokaiger
Mm,
is, because they are trying to introduce new things still. It's not like they're trying to go through the same thing over and over again. Like they know there's certain little bits of it they could extend
mm,
even further, and that's why I'm glad they got like a new armor form and all that sort of going on. I think that's the cool thing about seasons like Mega Ranger, because in Power Rangers in Space, obviously they had the whole sort of like Mega Ranger armor that they had, the Spectre armor. I think it was something like that anyway. But it was pretty cool. It was a nice addition. I don't think it had anything special like weapons or wise, but it
mm.
was still pretty cool that they had an armor mode. Obviously, most Super Sentais kind of have a battleizer form now, but it's more regarded as a power up mode. So
Yeah.
kind of gets lost in the scene. But but yeah, but yeah, since obviously we got this new coming up, new anniversary coming up for the 20th anniversary, a lot of people have been saying about. Oh, it's already in the wrong order. Fantastic.
Yay! Wouldn't be a show without it in the right order.
And it's not even
Yay!
there. Thank you for that, guys. So yeah, let me just double check this. Sorry. So yeah, obviously one of the things that they've been talking about recently is just the whole sort of
So what we're seeing on screen right here, it says, yeah, you can really tell that these two characters are designed by the same person. I quite like it. Like, I like the mech look. I think, okay, now we've gone to Zenkaiger with the white tiger,
Add direct. There we go. Sorry, yeah,
and
it
that
keeps
looks good.
switching. This is so frustrating. Um, I mean that's what it do, Yugi.
I think that's pretty cool. I really wish that they brought something like that out
Yeah, we'll
because
get back to that in a moment. Okay, so it's not really wanting to come out. Okay, fair enough. So it's not. So basically, the file format is just not being nice with me right now, which is a real shame because I really wanted to show you this, guys. But oh, that explains it's the wrong display file format. So there was a Sentai Jacket released for him,
yeah,
and that is one of the things that has been talking about on social media at the moment. Is that people want that particular thing to debut as a proper premiere item? Because to be fair, you know those jackets that they had in Time Range is pretty cool. I mean, I don't want that whole onesie they had.
do you not want a onesie? Just
just
think of it as a
just
shelf.
that. Yeah, it was like futuristic onesie. I'm not too sure about that one. I
Just
mean,
one piece.
is there a particular sort of like cosplay that you would want from like a anniversary season, or like a season that has an anniversary, should we say?
I'm going to show you something cool that I actually own. Would I like a cosplay? I don't think I do. Maybe a jacket, but
Ah,
that's
yeah,
maybe. But I don't know. I don't really like when I look at the characters. I don't go, "Oh, I really want to cosplay as that person." I'm more mainly like, "Give me that ranger suit. Let me put that helmet on." And that's it. What about you?
yeah.
I'm. No, hang on,
I
hang on.
mean,
The
yeah.
train conductor from Tokuja. One go.
That's a really good one, that actually. Yeah, I mean, I've got a Pato Ranger Ichigo jacket. I know I got that from Sentai Jackets.
Why haven't you worn it?
I made my own.
Why haven't you worn
I
it?
I made my own. What's it called? I made my own Hyperforce jacket, so it's as far as I go from Time Force, really,
Yeah.
or Time Ranger. So yeah, I've got that jacket pre-made. I think that's pretty much it. I don't really have any other cosplays, which is a real shame. But for now, those are my two primaries.
Yeah, I reckon you'd sort of suit the conductor outfit from Tokuja with the
Yeah,
monkey on
I
the
would
other hand.
with the ticket. Yeah, I love
Yeah,
ticket. Gotta love ticket.
is that his
But yeah,
name? Ticket. That's actually a good name.
let's move on from that then. So yeah, that is his name, ticket. So um, as revealed by this particular gentleman, Red Suika, um, he basically shows off his love for Hakaiser that we've had in the series recently. And there's
Yeah,
been obviously it obviously he points out that the same guy who made it is obviously a big fan of the similar designers. I think it's to do with the sort of like sculpting, like this sort of like warrior look he's got there. It's like very
yeah.
sleek, but at the same time, it's like it's still got those key sort of like points on the actual design itself. So the name obviously for it is Tamosuke Hishihira.
Okay.
Okay, no, Tamotsu Shino Shinohara. There we go. Oh, that was so difficult. So
Yeah,
not only is he obviously done, um, you know, we've already seen Hakaiser, we've seen one of the villains from Go Busters, but he's also the one who designed Kim Bakawas, which is pretty significant because I'm wondering what else he's possibly done. Because if you compare these two characters that you've already seen, I wonder what he's actually going to think of doing for the king. Because we both said like there's got to be something more to him than just a wall.
I generally was thinking about this earlier today. I was thinking it was going to be that he'll go, "I've had enough," boom, and then suddenly you'll see, and it will open up, and he'll just have a really skinny body with a biggish head, and you'll like go, "I'm now going to take it down." And for like 2 episodes, he's just going to whip the Zenkaigers over and over and over and over again.
Oh,
That's
sorry.
my that's my
Uh,
thought.
Yeah. Hey Mark, this is from Wrestler Figure Collector. Hey Mark, I saw a comment earlier about someone calling you and Ash and the Illuminerdi fakers and
Ah,
lies about the Hasbro and Toei split, and that is kind of disrespectful because you guys are awesome. I
well,
mean,
thank you.
yeah,
Thank
were
you,
we the only
wrestling
ones to
figure
really
collector.
put that out there that Hasbro and
He
Toei split?
he's
We're
refer
not the only ones. Yeah.
wrestling figure collector is referring to someone that was on Ash's video, calling me, having a go at Ash, and then having a go at me because I commented back, and it got very heated. That's it. And I just it was the typical. I'm a Power Ranger fan. I want it to burn to the ground, and I don't care if it gets cancelled as long as we get Sentai adaptations. And I just went, "Oh, you're not a fake fan. You're not a fan. You're a toxic fan." And then I had to
See,
go at him.
yeah, see, I had a dealing with the opposite. I've had someone who really, really
Yeah,
wants um original content to be made and completely scrap the Sentai, which I don't fully agree with. And even Joe doesn't. Even Joe obviously has that view, but it's like it's very frustrating when someone's like giving their view doesn't really seem like they're even referencing it properly or giving proof for it, and yet they're solidifying what they're saying to be true.
yeah, I know. I noticed it was on my Twitter. It's popped up every 2 seconds.
I mean, I like my Sentai. I suppose if you're going to refer me to as a Sentai fanboy, then fair be it. I don't think the boy part is really relevant though.
Mm.
But like, yeah.
It, it all brings down to two things. It's one is if the show's been dying for such a long time, then you're very held back by what Toy can do. So if you take that element out, even if you gave it, say, let's say you gave it a 5 year run and then tried your best to see if that worked, then you know that that element doesn't work. If then the element you bring it back and go, hey Toy, let's try this one again, and then you see what it's like. But I think you have to work on a deal. I think Saban back in the day was just like, oh yeah, Toy, you do what you want, and then Toy was just like, well, you can't have this, this, and this, and saying, okay, it's still really good, I like it, and then. But at the end of the day, people are passionate. If you don't go, if you get disrespectful, like the guy called me a fake fan, I was like, really, really
I don't understand how you
cool.
can have a fake fan if you're really sort of like posting about it. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's not like some of these things are so popular that it'll be classified as not in with the kids if you're not enjoying this sort of content. Like it doesn't make any
I,
sense.
I don't know. I think it goes down like because this is one thing that I've noticed from I think the guy who posted on a thing just turned around and was just like, I've watched all the episodes and I buy all the DVDs. And I was like, well, if we're gonna flex, Mark's got the biggest flex ever. But I was like, no, I'm above that. And I know some other people I've known have tried to flex. Like one guy was like, I'm the more bigger Power Ranger fan because I went to Power Morphicon and you haven't. And I was like, well, that wasn't aimed to me. But I just turned around and went, well, if that's the case, I've been them to more than he has. That makes me the bigger fan. But it doesn't mean anything. Like you're a fan of it. I think when you say fake fan, it's more like you only talk about it. Like I like the Red Ranger.
Yep.
His name is Tommy from Mighty Morphing, and he doesn't summon the Dragon Zord. He summons the Spaghetti Zord, and that's that sort of thing. And then you say, no, it's true, it's true, and that's when you can become a fake fan. But end of the day, I just don't care. I know I'm not. So
Yeah. Okay, so
anyway,
yeah. Uh, another bit of news, because obviously I put through the wrong file format.
well
So
done.
I'm just going to tell you guys. I'm going to put a link in the comments because we are actually be getting a DVD release of the spin-off that introduces Zenkai Red. So that particular short little series that we had is going to come out as a Blu-ray collection. So anyone who's interested in knowing more about this, obviously, I'll link it into the
Do you get more
Discord right now.
in
Well,
the
sorry, not Discord.
Discord? You
Sorry,
mean
not
in the
Discord.
chat?
In the chat, guys, in the chat. So yeah, that's something to obviously have a little spruce. But yeah, this is great because I don't think anyone really got the chance to watch it, but it was before the cease and desist of the fan subs, so hopefully it should be fine to watch. But yeah, it's great to get that sort of release though, because it was pretty cool to have a Zenkai Red because it kind of highlights the difference of Zenkaiser compared to his other compadres. So it's
Well,
pretty cool,
so
pretty cool.
okay, so hang on. I'm looking at this right
Yeah.
now. So you get one Blu-ray, and
Mhm.
is it all of Zenkaiger, or is it just one? No, wait, are they doing the whole thing where it's you get the box, then you get one DVD, and then you've got to buy the rest to fit in that box? There's a link.
No, no. So it should be like the first volume of the Blu-ray collection, basically. So it obviously has the spin-off drama bonus discs, full volume storage box as the first privilege. So yeah, it kind of has that. So it is a
Okay.
lot in it though. I think it's pretty cool that they have. I think for me it's just really cool to see the actors though, like who portrayed the human versions of Juran, Gowon, Majin, and Varun. Because it's like one of those things where it's like if it wasn't for COVID, would have this happened?
Yeah. So no, I'm having a look because so this is what I absolutely hate because they did it with Sword Art Online.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if you want to buy the really nice collection, you get the box and you get the first volume. Now go buy the rest. I'm like, no, I want to buy it all. But I know, like, Blu-rays in Japan are redonkulously expensive.
Hmm.
Like, so yeah, it
Yeah,
is. I
it
think.
is different. Yeah, but yeah, it's good to know that that's coming out as an actual release rather than just sort of appearing and disappearing. So always glad to hear that. Okay, so
Well,
I think now would
wait,
be a good
would you buy
time.
this? Would you buy this?
Yeah, of course. Like I would
Would
love
you?
to get this. As soon as I could, to be honest. It's just one of those things where it's like with you know DVD and Blu-ray releases anyway. Obviously, sometimes it's region locked, and I'm pretty sure it's a little bit more harsh when it comes to Blu-ray. So as long as you've got like something like a multi-region player or even consoles like the PlayStation actually, PlayStation 3 I believe especially, 4 and 5 I think so, but I'm not 100% sure. But they're not exactly region locked, so you could actually watch different sort of like movies and whatnot through them rather than having to worry about the whole region 1, region 2 sort of
Mm.
deal. So that's always the plus side.
Yeah, it looks. To be fair, it looks cool. Would I get this? Preferably yes.
Mm,
So I just really wish that they release it all in one go. I would
yes.
rather pay something like, how do you say, like I'd rather just pay for it all. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is goddamn cool. I didn't know they even made this. Hang on. All right. Okay. All right.
Post it in the live chat.
I can't. It's an image. It's on that page anyway.
All right, yeah.
But it's something I think you need in your life if they made it properly.
Oh my God, you're talking about a okay,
The
so
section.
guys, this is a little Sek-chan little plushie, which is adorable. That would be so cool. But unfortunately, I don't think they're ever going to do that. I am going to try and 3D model Sek-chan at some point,
Yeah.
just to see how good I can make him. But yeah, that
Oh,
obviously comes down to what I do in my own spare time. Okay, so let's move on actually from that. We should really talk about the subject that we're going to be talking about in this show today. So that is talking about Ultrazords in Super Sentai. Now, is there any particular Super Sentai Ultrazords that you remember the most? Even going back before Zyuranger.
not before Ranger because I don't think that was a thing. Um, but I do remember, and I think two come to mind. Goonja, when you've got all of them combined into what they call the Cluster Frick Megazord, and the Lupin Pata Ranger one.
Yeah, to be honest, I really loved the Lupin versus Pato Ranger combination because it was pretty smart how it was a versus team, and yet they combined together and still maintained that sort of,
Mm,
unified essence. Because the only thing I didn't quite like about it though was just how uh, yellow and blue were just kind of hanging on its shoulders.
yeah,
But at least they actually moved and they had purpose, which is the plus side. Um, but yeah, I mean, there's a certain like combinations, like in Rue Soldier, where you're like all the parts are not quite there. They just take they move them off somewhere else.
yeah,
But you did have obviously it was Mossa Rex, Tiramigo, and the Pteranodon based particular Zord all combined. So it kind of did represent air, land, and sea. So
yeah.
I thought that was pretty good, really good. It's kind of Ghost Sagery. Oh, sorry, wrestling figure collector. Hey, do you collect Sentai helmets from the 80s? And if you do, what seasons do you have? Because I am a Super Sentai helmet collector. Now, I would really love to collect helmets. However, I'm more of the sort of like changers and morphers kind of dude. So I really love to collect anything that's like, whether it be the brace or um, Dynabucker obviously is a really good one because I think it stands out so uniquely because it's very Kamen Rider in sort of
Mm.
ideal, really. So I think really love that part. But other than that, I think yeah, if I were to collect any of the helmets, it'd probably be Maskman because although I don't like the earring sort of like attachments for it, generally I think that yeah, if I remember correctly,
He's
yeah,
looking for his
generally
helmet.
it's the yeah, generally the actual sort of like detailing on that helmet I really really love.
Yeah.
I think that's probably what I'll go for. Mark?
If I had to choose Jetman,
Oh yeah.
just pure on Jetman. I really like the designs. I don't know what it is. Like I kind of would have liked that to be the first Power Rangers, or I'd really love to see Jetman in Power Rangers.
Mm,
I think that would be kind of cool. I'm not including the legendary war because, to be fair, it was in that one.
yeah.
But I really like Jetman's costumes. To be fair, I think they look really cool.
Yeah, I think actually that's a good segue. For Ultrazords, Jet Icarus and Jet Garuda did have a formation that created something of essence, didn't it?
Did they? Let me have a look.
Yes, they did.
Uh, Jetman
I think it
Megazord.
was. I think Jetman and Liveman were both ones that basically had an ultimate combination, um, which I kind of preferred Jetman more than uh, Liveman because I just didn't like the sort of like blocky designs of the Rhino and the Bull.
Hmm.
I think that's the only thing I'd say I didn't quite like about them. But when they combined all together, it worked pretty well. I thought it was quite good.
Yeah, they look good. They look cool.
Mm.
I just like Jetman. I might actually see if I can find Jetman and watch that because
No,
that was pretty decent to be fair.
yeah. Now, as much as I love the designs made by Toei and Bandai, do you think that Hasbro could one up all of these designs?
As in, how do you mean, like,
Like
one up them?
Ultrazord wise, because Ultrazords are really complicated when you think about it. Because obviously you've got to make sure that every part has its place, but at the same time you don't want it to lose its composition or its you know, its proportions.
I think Hasbro could do it. Like,
Mm.
I think that if you were to make something, you'd have to start planning now. So if the split does happen and it moves on, then I feel like you'd have to start doing it. But since they've got Transformers, they could just get the Transformers guy and be like, "Oh, hey, make me something," and he'd be like, "Okay," and then make something and be like, "There you go." Or they may not, maybe they may not have it in the next season.
Maybe, maybe. But we'll have to wait and see for that. I mean, it just depends, really, doesn't it? I mean, even Go Busters has a limited range of Zords, but they all generally combine together, which I thought was really,
Mm.
really good. Um, yeah, but I think, is there any sort of like Ultra Zord where you're thinking, probably shouldn't have done that?
Probably Go Ranger or Go Anja, where it's
Go
just
on, Joe.
like massive
I
Megazord out
mean,
of
it was
nowhere.
massive. Yeah, I give you that. But at the end of the day, I think they managed to keep the proportions so well, considering how much they combined together. The one I didn't like the most, actually, out of all of Super Sentai, is probably got to be Jiroja, because it lost all its proportions in the legs, and it just like completely it
Is it?
didn't it didn't really look good. I don't even know how it walked. Like, I know they kind of have, you could tell it was a man in a suit because they had to proportion, like segment the legs away in a way so that it could move properly. But generally, I don't know how it was able to stay upright because it was basically like cube feet. There was no actual feet itself. It was just cube legs.
Let me have a look. To be fair, I've never watched Zeroja apart from the Gokaiger episode.
Yeah, I
So I was
suppose
like,
it's the design equivalent of having pogo sticks for legs.
oh God. Like, can you imagine Hasbro bringing that out as a toy? Oh God. You'd be
Yeah, they would have to make so much change to that. I mean, Hasbro could do it, like, if they have their ways, but yeah, I just think that design-wise, it just didn't look that good. It's probably the only time where the toy is going to be better than the Megazord, though.
is it
Like, it's going to be better than a live action if they do this. I'm hoping
so
they really do something.
does it have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on both legs and then it's got like
Yes.
a how is that how like that how that's like how
Yeah.
I can't even I can't put it into words like I, I imagine it just wobbling like if it's out you've done the pose and it's like yeah we've won and it's just standing in a field a gust of wind could knock it over.
It just it could stand up straight perfectly because of the way it's sort of like
Yeah.
positioned, but as soon as it puts a leg out,
I'm looking at the toy and I think they are going to be the most boring toys that
mm,
Hasbro are going to bring out. And there's one with a giant big thing, which I'm guessing is a whale. Oh my god! Like the
mm.
toys are going to suck
I loved. No,
balls.
don't get me wrong. I actually really enjoyed all of the Zords. I just wasn't a fan of the Ultrazord, is what I'm saying.
Mm.
I wasn't a fan of them all combining. Separately, they actually came out pretty damn good. The only thing I didn't like actually, one thing, was when they combined just 1 to 6. In that instance, they kind of just didn't bother to extend the arms. They just used number 1 and number 6, which obviously the top torsos are both red, put them as arms, and then they just had dinky little arms drop down. They didn't change the arms at all.
It's bad. Like I'm looking at the yeah that the normal Japanese toy.
Mm,
It looks boring. Like
yeah.
oh my god. Hasbro are gonna suffer a massive loss.
I'm sure they'll be fine if they can do it right, and they just need to do it better. But also, they also need to actually change it in the show, because it's not going to be good if they keep the exact same footage and then try to do something different. They need to, obviously, in this instance, do something original.
Yeah, like the way that I think that they could do it, and that they can do it, and it's in one of the pictures, is if you like say how Megazords they basically stand, they don't move, and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think with the Dino Fury ones that they brought out, like they're posable.
Articulation, yeah.
They've got that's how you would beat it. That's how I would want articulation within it
Mhm.
because if I could pose it like it's winning thing where it's got its sword in the air like that and it's posed like that and legs to the side, I would be like, do you know what? I would buy it that way. I would say I'd buy it with the Dino Fury ones, but I haven't. Oh well. But
Yeah.
yeah, like, oh man, it better be fucking good.
Yeah,
God
it
damn
should
it.
be, it should be. But we'll have to wait and see. Now,
Yeah.
why do I bring all this up about design and stuff like that? Well, because it was dropped. Link is going to be in the chat right now.
Okay.
So, for the particular new thing that we have featured in today, the new Zenkai Jacket robot, the Juroku Zenkai-Oh, which we see in episode 31, was actually not planned until way later into the series. So the original concept, obviously, for Zenkaiger, didn't have this particular combination exist. Like it never was. It was never meant to be part of it in the beginning. So they actually just went all out, studied the hell out of their own creations, and found a way.
Yeah. Did you write this article, Brad?
Oh, of course I did. If you find good news, you got to use it. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
You're
don't know
welcome
if
on that.
yeah, yeah, that's thanks to Yeah, it's also thanks to VMRCT as he's known on
Yeah.
Twitter. So Mark obviously found it through him.
It popped
He's
up.
the one that translated the information that came from Toei. So, it's Bandai that studied it through, but it was actually Toei that requested that they had to do something that combined them all. And that's where the canon came from, as well as the combination that we see in the episode. Which is pretty cool when you think about it. Like, how many times have you looked at a season and thought, oh, I wish they did this for it, or I wish they did that? They actually saw the own flaw in their concept and was like, we need to add this in.
Yeah, like I have some thoughts. I mean, the Megazord, the battle, like we'll get to it when we talk review it, wasn't the best.
Oh,
But
but
for
yeah, but
what
come on, you saw the Zero, you could level with me. Like, it could have been worse.
it could have been worse. I think basically it needed a better texture. Like,
Oh yeah,
wh-
in the show, yeah, we'll
yeah,
get to that. Yeah, don't worry. But yeah, another thing I should actually mention as well is that also revealed by the same gentleman on Twitter, the actual CGI quality. Obviously, he didn't like either, but it is the first attempt of motion capture. So this is the first time I've actually had a guy in the suit actually use the CGI rather than just do it all animated, which is really
mm,
good because it shows that even though they're using different techniques, they're not completely getting rid of what makes suits themselves so good. It's because of the whole motion capture as well. So they can be a little bit more, what's the phrase, like natural with it, I mean, I did enjoy the CG fights of the Zords that you see in Lupin vs. Pato. Couldn't fault that. And in a way, this sort of like combination does give me Lupin Pato Ranger vibes. So,
yeah.
but yeah, I thought it was a pretty damn good addition to this particular series. I think.
It was. I'm now wondering if we're gonna get this back. Like if
Mm,
they're gonna do it for the like next one, or if they've actually built the suit and gone, frick
yeah.
it, let's do it.
So yeah,
Um,
let's quickly look into some concepts actually, if that's all right. So
Go on then, Bryn. You're the
this is the
man
stuff.
at the helm right now.
So, this is one particular artist decided to see what it would look like if a Sixth Ranger sword was also used again in combination with the Zenkai duo. Well, not Zenkai duo, but more Zenkaiser in his super mode. So, here obviously you'll see a depiction of a Zenkai Dio. I think this is interested in how this actually looks like it could work. The only thing I will say about it though is that the other foot is missing.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to wait till until it pops up on my end over here. Oh, there we go. We've got the Die Ranger one. Yeah, quite like it with the Tiger Zord. Very nice.
Hmm.
I would love to see something like that come along. I'd way be up for that one.
Hmm. I think it's be great. I think the other thing that is great about it as well is it still has the sort of tiger head, and I can
Yep.
actually see how this could sort of combine. Um, I wonder if
Chomp
this is
chomp
going to be
chomp
like
chomp chomp.
I one thing you should also pay attention to as well is the little Saba head that
Yeah,
kind
I
of
saw that.
perfectly mirrors.
Yeah,
It's
like
such a good idea. It's such a good idea.
I would happily buy that. Like if they made
Yeah.
one and it was official, I would be like, do you know what?
Mm,
I would quite like that. That looks really nice.
yeah, I agree. I think the only thing I would have done differently was still keep the other foot and make it attachable. But I suppose considering, you know, I suppose they could just put it on the back.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I love the detailing of it. It's a great idea. So yeah, we'll obviously go back to the toy version of the latest combination that we have that combines the cannon with the other, Kikanoid Rangers and their Megazord form as we know it as. Well, we'll say Robo form. So obviously the Zeruku Zenkai-Oh. So in the toy version, I don't think it's that bad. It could have been worse.
Gonna have to see the picture pop up on my side. It's just gonna wait.
Yeah.
I
So
think there's a
just
massive
so I'm
delay.
clear as well, this is all
There.
going to be featured in episode. It was all featured in episode 31. So if you've seen episode 31, you've already seen the debut of this guy, and it looks better in the CGI than I think in the toy version.
No, toys
But
toys way better. And it looks like a crab.
can you imagine the difficult how difficult it was to sort of create this though? Because like you really have to think ahead.
I think, to be fair, I have theories on this at the moment.
Mm,
I think though that they had to really do something quick to kind
mm.
of do something. I think
But
it looks okay. It just looks
yeah,
weird because I think it's because you've got Majin and Vroom at the bottom, and
yeah.
the leg. It like what you probably see is like it just looks staggered. I say it looks like a crab, like it's about to
Mm.
go off and make some
I do.
crabby patties.
I do feel like we've been listened, or we've been heard when we've been talking about this because we always said, oh, if they were to combine them, then Gowon and Jiron would probably become arms, and you know, I didn't think of it until I saw the canon, but I could see how you know Majin and Froon would actually make legs, which is fantastic. I love that.
Yeah, it's gonna be one.
Oh,
Um,
yeah,
it
sorry,
says, well,
wrestling
Mark,
figure collector. Yeah, go
well, Mark,
on.
I have the helmets of the red and yellow owl. Great. See, perfect helmets. Perfect helmets. They look
Nice.
absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it would be interesting to know what other helmets you would actually like to collect, wrestler figure collector.
Mm.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry, you're saying that, Mark.
Looks like a grab. Looks okay. I'm gonna buy the toy when I can,
hmm
because yeah, it's actually a good one. I'm just hoping it's not like, hey, here's a mini toy. I'm gonna be like, oh my god, spin, 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 and it doesn't work.
Yeah. Oh, also, guys, I should probably say as well, I would really love to know your thoughts on everything we've talked about so far. So, what is your favorite Ultrazord combination? What do you think of this new configuration for Zenkaiger? God, let us know. Live chat, come on. But
There's
yeah.
also, sorry, as I have just quickly checked the
Yes.
Twitters.
Oh, yes.
I can't read it, but Sentai 5 has tweeted out that there is a Blu-ray collection that comes with a random gear, and I
Ooh,
think it's 42, so it's going to be Lupin versus Pata Ranger.
probably.
So that's going to be cool. God damn, to be fair, I'm just going to try and find them. I can't be bothered buying it. I don't want to buy the DVD.
So, we've also featured some like fan-made Zords and stuff like that we've seen before, haven't we?
Yes.
So this particular image game same comes from the same guy as does this one. So this is where
Let's
he's
have a
used
look.
his own customs for like different Ranger teams. So he's done Tokuja, he's done um, Go Busters as its own form. Obviously, you see Geki Ranger, and I believe it's 5 man, I think it is, or something earlier. But yes, those all being represented here.
Mm.
um, I think the only thing I didn't like about it is I don't think the guy realized what he's done with his designs until like too late because he didn't really use anything as a basis when he was doing these designs. He wasn't using Vroom, he wasn't using Magine, so it kind of looks a bit off.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a shame because the Tokuja concept that he was doing probably would have worked really well with Vroom's template. Um, But yeah, I thought this was quite interesting that you designed this. What do you think?
It looks all right. It looks like it would mess you up. When I saw it very briefly, I thought,
Mm,
oh, they've actually made one that they're going to combine with Zoxes and stuff like that. I was
yeah.
like, okay, that's pretty cool. It looks all right.
Mm.
It
You know what I
looks,
will
yeah.
say? Yeah, sorry.
Mm,
um,
that's it.
without the wings, the proportions actually look better.
Yeah, you kind of look at it. I mean, to be fair, I'm not really bothered because I think obviously you've got to put the wings somewhere. I would probably put them on the back. I
Probably,
think
yeah.
that works a bit more, like in my favor.
Yeah, I think he's probably thinking that maybe you can just sort of hide certain parts. Like obviously, yeah, you do have to detach the arms to put all of it on. Um, but yeah, I do think like you're right. The wings would have probably look been a bit better at the back or somewhere else.
Mm.
But you
In the
gotta put them
hands as
somewhere.
blades,
Yeah.
waiting.
So another thing as well is obviously we've got all of these different figures that people collect in, and here's someone trying to create what could only be described as a little idea that kind of is based on Ranger's Ultrazord.
Mm.
So this is someone's attempt at combining every single one of them, including two Kaisers. So we got.
Okay, I'm waiting for anticipated breath, so I'm looking over this side so I can see it. Drum roll.
Oh, it is a bit
So
delayed today, isn't it?
yeah, you can still okay. No, oh, that looks a bit crap. To be fair, not gonna lie.
I mean, I
A
don't
for
blame you.
effort.
I don't blame. Yeah, it's interesting. Obviously, I doubt this is ever going to be a configuration. I'll be surprised if it is. But like, it's cool that it works.
It it's not my thing. Just gonna say that
No, no,
not
no,
my bag. Not
no,
my bag.
no. But at least I tried, Mark. Give him props for trying.
As I said, A for effort. A for effort.
Mm. Yeah, so like that's pretty much all we've got in terms of those. So yeah, obviously we have to talk about episode 31. The main debut being that particular Zenryuku Zenkai-Oh, which I think is so cool. I really love it. Like in terms of it just blows my mind that they didn't actually plan this. They had to go back and look at their own stuff to make it.
Because it's probably wasn't doing what they wanted, and that's the reason why they had to make it.
Probably. I mean, I still kind of like the whole combination thing, the gimmick they've got. Where it's like put them together and put them apart, then the other two and put them together, and then they do different sort of like forms. I wish they kind of continued that with their own sort of like
Hmm.
variations of that, like what we've seen. The gentleman before make his own sort of like customs where he had different ranges being represented. That's the only thing I'm bothered about. Um, but considering what we've seen in the show, it's such a good design.
It
Like,
it
it
looks
makes
nice.
sense. In fact, I think that this particular formation is actually more representation of Zenkaiger, way better than the original, because we've always said in the beginning, haven't we, that we'd really love it to be more about the Zords and it's about the Rangers, because it's supposed to be a robo orientated
Yeah.
season, and so far they've just kind of focused more on the Ranger side still. So it's not quite Zenkaiger, but pretty damn close. Um, but yeah, with the Zenryuku Zenkai-Oh, they actually use Zord attacks. Like you actually see those pop up, and that's what I think this is the reason why I think they should have included this particular formation way early on.
Hmm.
I mean, I know it's like a final like cannon, but they could have just got rid of the cannon side of things and just made it into a jet. That would have been that would have worked. It would have been a good silhouette to say Go Ranger and stuff too, because
Hmm.
they didn't have proper robos, they had jets, which ties in perfectly. Opinion?
Um, as the jet, it's fine. I didn't mind what it does. I just now have a theory that you're never going to see gears used ever again now. Like
mm.
100%. I'll
They've had their
gladly
time.
be wrong. I don't no. Like, you've literally given Kaito the end game weapon, the ultimate weapon ever. Why would
mm.
you want to use gears to get the powers when now you can summon the Rangers to do your work for you?
Yeah, that is true. I suppose it's like a quick use thing, isn't it, as well? But one thing I will say as well, I bet when they were originally creating this concept, they were actually thinking of using multiple gears in a device rather than something that represents everyone. I think that's probably where they went a bit wrong.
I to be fair, it should have been an ultimate gear that he had. I
Mm,
just, and then obviously maybe, yeah, as you said before, like using it as a Megazord,
yeah,
as a jet for parts of it. I just think now, uh, you've given, as I said, you've given Kaito the ultimate weapon. Why would you want to use a gear that would give you a ribbon when you can summon a ranger to use the ribbon and beat the crap out of the bad guy for you?
I suppose, yeah.
It irritates me, Brent. Freaking irritates me. Um,
I
yeah.
mean, that's what it do.
Oh,
So,
you,
let's actually take a look at the debuts that we've had in this particular season because, it's pretty cool that they had this feature in the first place. So, so obviously we had, when he's first using it, the actual full gun goes obviously off, and this is where I kind of feel like they've got a lot of influence from Lupin versus Pato Ranger because it
mm,
feels exactly the same. Like the way the sort of gun goes big, the way that Kaito goes into the pilot seat, the way they all combine together. It all feels like they've kind of got a little bit of a Lupin Pato Ranger sort of vibe still going, and I really love that.
yeah,
Especially like the whole cockpit thing because it does have the use of like holographic touch markers to use and activate stuff. Um, I really really love all that, especially like the actual interior. Just oh my god, it's like
yeah.
it's like 1994 movie Zords meets like Lupin versus Pato Ranger meets uh like a sort of like machine like design that just represents Power Rangers and Megazords and it's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it looks fine. Like I would have quite liked if there didn't air horn, and it's like no, and it goes doo doo doo. I gotta admit, I do like the whole cockpit. I think it was nice, and I
Mm,
feel like you can tell that this is all like, they've built it really quickly, or it's all really good CGI, and that they've spent their time on it. Um,
yes.
I don't know. I like it. I really do. It doesn't really bother me. The CGI was fine as well for the battle. I just wish
Mm.
that they textured it properly rather than making it look like it. But maybe they rushed it, and
Yeah, to be
maybe.
fair, if it's a late idea, then it will probably be a late concept that they had to kind
Mm,
of rush out. But yeah, you're right.
yeah.
I
Um,
like the name though. It does sound like they've based the name off of Go Rangers. I think it's like something Eagle, isn't it? But
yeah.
if I'm not mistaken, so Full Power Eagle makes a lot of sense for this particular one. I love the attacks from it as well, like the whole like color stream. That straight away just reminded me of the cannon formation from Ranger. That was really cool. It was a really cool blast. I really love
Yeah.
the lighting effects of this.
I,
Um,
I I got Jew Ranger vibes straight away from it. I was
yeah.
like, oh, Jew Ranger, cool.
Yeah, but obviously we see like we got new Cadettes, so new foes to fight, which means that this combination was really, really good to have,
Yeah.
and it just like I'm just glad they didn't go, oh, this big bad just happens to be a little bit tougher, therefore we're gonna need to get some new combination going. No, they actually got something new. They've got
Mm,
something like not seen before. Obviously, it's a modified version because it just looks like it's augmented reality version of Cadettes, but
yeah.
but it's still not bad, not bad. Um, but I think the funniest thing of this episode though is just where they said um, when they had to say for a thing to combine. Like I don't know about you, but trying to say full power Zenkai combine sounds way harder in Japanese than it does in English.
Oh, full power Zenkai combined. Go.
So yeah, before we get into obviously seeing that full combination as well, I think we should talk about the little parts in the episode that happened too. So obviously we see more of the cannon being used, but it's actually the foe itself. So it wasn't obviously Bull World, it was what
Milk
Dairy World.
Dairy World. Like, power of milk makes you forget. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I didn't mind the episode. I generally thought it was okay. But I felt like the whole thing with Sekchan just was a massive waste of time. Like, 100% wasted. only
Yeah.
because you know exactly what happens after the episode. As soon as
Hmm.
the monster's defeated, whatever he's done power-wise gets reset back to normal. And I felt there
Yeah.
was nothing with Sek-chan in it. That was just pointless.
I love Sek-chan.
I know.
I think it probably um just sort of kind of hit Kaito more than he expected, didn't it? Because it was really kind of just like boom.
Yeah, like I know it was built for story. Like I know it was,
Mm,
but I generally just felt like now if this was a thing where they're like, okay, we're going, he cries, he's like, right, we'll go back and we'll destroy the bad guy. And Sek-chan when they came back was like that, I would be more like, oh, okay, they're doing it. But the fact is that you know that they could have gone, right, let's go defeat the monster. It's like, all right, he's down for the count. Let's go defeat
mm,
it, and it works. I would have been okay, I would have been like, but if he died a little bit and then came back in the next episode, then I'd be like, oh, actually, that's more sentimental.
yeah.
But there's no
I think
sentimental in
that's
this.
probably where they kind of missed out when they were doing the planning for this episode. I think they should have done it something like, lingering effects, or
Mm,
maybe even something along the lines of it doesn't disappear straight away. Like you can even just do that in like scenes and just suggest that it doesn't necessarily disappear straight after the defeat. Like there's still rubbish to
mm,
get rid of, for example, like they've had previously,
yeah,
or you know, you're still partially stuck to something, but it comes with you.
yeah,
I think
it's
I think they kind of underestimated what they could have led it to. But I do think it's pretty cool though how the effects of different worlds, although the naming and stuff and what they're related to is a bit odd, they are kind of going off the whole sort of like, page a bit and deciding to go, well, actually,
mm,
this could be what this actually does rather than it just spraying milk everywhere.
it's really
It
random with
was
the
really,
milk.
it was very creepy beginning until it made sense.
Yeah, it's just throwing milk at you. Milk everywhere, yay!
Yeah. So, is there any particular episode parts in this episode that stood out to you, Mark, or any of
I
you
just
guys?
I would just generally think the whole range, like him using ranges, that kind of really like popped out. But as soon as I saw that, I was like, right, they're not using gears again. Not
Mm,
unless the weapon can't be used or gets destroyed, then they can use the gears.
yeah.
But I don't know. Like,
I feel
what
like,
about you?
yeah, I feel like that particular thing should have been like short bursts, like just like you know, kind of like what they've been doing with the gears, where they use a special attack or something for them, and that's it. Then maybe the cannon would actually do special attacks, but you
Mm,
could do more than one at the same time, and then they'll do all that, and then they disappear. I think that would have been cooler.
yeah.
But I think that's kind of what they're trying to hint at, but they haven't really established that. Because
Mm,
after they're done the special attacks, like with what we've seen, they do just sort of disappear. Um,
yeah.
but that's a good way to start talking about who debuted. Oh, I'm gone small again. Just me. It's alright. It's cool. So Beast Power was introduced used for the first one. So we had them being represented by Live Man, Duoja. Uh, Funny enough,
Wild Force,
uh,
Gower Ranger.
funny enough, we had Yellow Owl from Jetman, ironically, and obviously, Gower Ranger obviously being used in this one. I like how it was like all different signature attacks for that one though. I think that was pretty cool. I think that's the thing I liked about it the most.
Mm,
Um, Followed by obviously the special attack making me laugh too,
yeah.
because I mean it did blast him pretty far back, so I'm glad they thought about it and thought, oh actually, let's make it so that they have to sort of support him because this has got a really big blast.
Mm,
So yeah, seeing it all link up all the helmets, and I liked how that helmets kind of light up as they're trying to summon different ones based on what they're calling, which is pretty cool.
mm.
Even Grinder Zenkai, the name's great. So yeah, I think that's cool. It's just like they're all connected, and Vroom's the only one that's still on the ground.
Yeah. See, Vrun really annoyed. I don't know what it was this episode. He annoyed me.
Yeah, his character quirk is kind of losing its essence a bit, isn't it? It's now just gotten to the point where he just questions everything rather than just has like I don't know, it doesn't represent us as much as he used to. That's what I
No,
feel like.
yeah, it was more kind of like he. I don't know. Like when watching the episode, it was when he wanted to go for the boomerang and was like, "I'm going to get in the way. I need to know how it works." And I'm just like, it actually made me hate him a lot in this episode. Like, I generally just thought, why are you even here anymore?
Mm,
So I don't know if that's meant to be his kind of comical, quirky little self, but I was just like, "Fine, get the hell out of here! Get out of
yeah.
here!"
I do like all the things that we've seen from Zenkaiger though, because the boomerang attack was really cool. But then he still did the shadow jump out thing, which I thought was only going to happen once, because
Mm,
it was when he was first seen, and it would just jumped out of Thingy's shadow, wasn't it? Stacy's
yeah.
shadow. So it was really really good. I really like that he's got that sort of attack, and it kind of has like a ninja vibe too, which is
Mm,
really cool. That's getting a bit of representation in a way too. So
yeah.
yay. um, yeah. I think the other thing as well though. I think it's cool that it was distracted by Zox, because I was wondering how they were going to feed him with Hackaiser in the way. But I'm glad that Flint and Zox are still getting their parts in the episodes, even though
Mm,
it's starting to feel like Kaito and the others are kind of being more dominant now, since it's starting to relate more about what's currently going on and the changes and what like that. Also, I don't know if you noticed, but Kim Ross is starting to really start a hammer down on that platform.
mm. I think
He's
it
really
was
going
more,
mad.
yeah. I think with Zox and stuff like that, I feel like, yeah, I think they're taking a bit of a step back because
Mm,
they're now part of the team. It's not, and also no more toy sales. Like, I
mm,
reckon if you had, was it, if you had, like, say, one more weapon, like you had I don't know, say gloves or whatever, then
mm,
that would be more the focus. But I feel like it's more he's now part of it. Like, you had to show him
mm.
off in the first couple of episodes, going into making it more about him to say, hey, we have a really cool Gold Ranger,
Yeah.
yay, type thing. It's
But the way it ended it though, like think about it, like they ended it so well. How Zox is starting to figure out that they're actually Kaiser's got more of a link to Kaito than they think.
Yeah, I think when you're looking at it, something like that is more kind of, how do I say, like it, like, that's going to be the main thing. Like, it's going to be the dad, or it's going to be, maybe
Mm,
that's going to be their version of Kaito. So it's stimulating the dad's mind, where it's like, this is my son, this is what I think he would be like.
mm.
That's how I kind of saw it. But
I'm pretty sure it is him in that suit.
yeah,
Like I'm 110% it is him.
I don't I don't think it would be him in the suit, because if they destroyed him and then, then you've got rid of it. I think it's basically the mind of his dad in there.
Ah,
That's
yeah,
what
that would make
I would
sense.
think.
Yeah,
Because, yeah, if you destroyed him and then it's like, oh, you killed your dad. What?
yeah.
I didn't know
I
this.
it probably mentally links. You're right about that. I
Yeah.
agree. That's a good point. So, we should probably talk about the whole combination as well. So, I think the coolest thing about this was the stadium that they usually do the combinations in, with all of
Mm,
those logos around it, and then the pretty decoration on the floor is like rainbow colors. It was so cool.
yeah.
But yeah, I think this combination when it was combined all together really really stood out. Like I said though, it looks so much better in the show than it does the toy, and sometimes that just happens to be the case,
Mm.
just because they sort of deform it a bit in certain areas. Um, yeah, is there anything that stood out to you during the combination sequence?
Not really. I thought it was, like, it's nice to see all of them. I think it just took way too long to make, and I'm
Mm.
hoping, like, they do a very quick version, like
Oh
it,
yeah, yeah,
because it just felt like, when I was watching the whole sequence, I was like, I'm not bored of it. I just think it took a lot more time to combine.
yeah,
Um, but he looks awesome. Like, that's when you look at that texture. I think when you're looking at the way it is, I think it's Majin. She's too pink. It's not pink. It's purple. And I feel like if you
yeah,
textured it and lowered the contrast, it would look kind of okay.
yeah.
Um,
Oh, fun fact, guys. Actually, I should probably
mm,
mention. The weapon combining, as you can see, that is actually a reference to the weapons that combine in Gal Ranger. So where you got the
oh, the
the jungle sword as we know isn't Wild Force, but apparently is actually you know significant to that.
yeah.
Although the one thing I think I had a problem with this combination is that um, when you have the toy, Juren's head has to open all the way up, and it just happens to be a hole. Like it's not actually designed to be a hand to hold anything. It just happens to be a hole for the weapon to go in to hold it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I don't have Duran on the table with me. He's on the other side of the room.
yeah. So there's a little gap, like when you open the mouth at the very back, and then behind his head, as it were, it's literally there.
Hang on. Right, I'm gonna look at this. 'Cause-
But yeah, I think it was a pretty good combination.
right.
I think they do look better in the show. That's for certain. So
No,
if you
he's
look at the
got.
head, yeah, where the helmet part is for the combination of the Megazord. But yeah, let's swiftly moved on. I think the cockpit was a bit of a cop out.
I'm having a look now. Oh, to be fair, like if it's there, it's there.
Yeah,
Oh well. I just don't
I
want
did
him to
kind
go.
of
Go on,
yeah
There you go. He can sit back on the desk now.
yeah. I did like the helmets having color, like the gears having color to them, so they're there. But I
Yeah.
do think it would have been better if they were just sort of physically there with Kaito. Um, but the fight
Yeah.
sequence weren't bad. See, because it was CGI.
It's all right, wasn't it? It's
Yeah, it
all
weren't
right.
bad. Yeah, but yeah, like we said, textures need work.
Yeah. It just does. Like I think you might see it better. Like to be cockpit, I think it would have
Mm,
been better with them like their heads moving.
yeah,
Because obviously their
or
body.
at least they're actually moving and they're just sort of like energized in a thing like we've got here
Yeah.
that you'll see in a minute. Because I do want to swiftly move on to the actual Megazords that were sort of sorry, the actual Zords that were energized as attacks.
Mm.
So obviously you had machine power. Kaito, Gokaiger was actually included in that, which I
Yep.
thought was really odd. That was very weird. I didn't think they could. I mean, I thought they would be their own thing in general, but considering there's not any other logos for them, there he is.
Yeah. I just see Vrun being a dick.
Yeah. So you had Go-Onja, Lupin Ranger. You had. I mean, I think it's themes of Zords in this instance. So
Mm.
Kira Major, Tokyuja, and Gokaiger seen here. We had seen the same thing again with Juran calling the dinosaur power, sorry, Jurassic power. So you
Yeah.
had Tiramigo, um, Kilyuja's T-Rex in it as well as Juran himself. I think it was it Juran? Yeah, it was Juran himself.
Do they have
I thought that
Jew
was a bit of a
Ranger in
cop out
there?
though.
Because that's one thing. It moved too quickly for me to.
No, no, that was just I think that was actually just him. It was just Juran in his dino form. I don't think they did any other Tyrannosauruses. They
Let
just
me
did these three, which is very
let me
weird.
have
I
a.
guess I didn't have an updated model for him, perhaps.
Yeah, because like when I was watching it, I was like,
Yeah,
I know it's not going to play through my headphones. Oh,
that's
have
the
you?
only thing I can think of. They didn't have a CGI model for that form of T-Rex. That's the only thing I didn't have.
Yeah, like I think. I mean, it's not even playing for me. Right, let's have a look. Because it
And then
felt.
obviously, Majin just had her ribbons, which is
I
cool.
felt.
Which is cool. But yeah,
Yeah, I felt very sorry for Majin.
yeah.
Because I was like, you've not got any wizards whatsoever.
No Zords for you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame that they only had three. It looked like it switched to four. So I'm wondering why they didn't have thingy.
Yeah, Siege. I think because they didn't have the models for those particular Zords, because they did. I think they did have them briefly for. I think it was Tyrannosaurus Zord. Sorry, Tyrannosaurus from Ranger in the movie when they did the crossover, but I don't think they kept the
Yeah.
file or something, so he couldn't really be included. So the only ones they could do were the most recent like models they had as CGI models that they could use. I think that's the only reason probably
Mm,
why I've seen it. But I think the whole grappling thing is still cool. They're probably still going to use Zord's scene for miracle power when they use an attack. It's just kind of like the gears. That's what I can imagine being the
yeah.
case. But I think the full power Grand Zenkai attack was pretty cool. You saw every single Robo and
All the
uh,
Ultrazords
yeah, oh yeah, all the Ultrazords, yeah.
being thrown at him. I was like, that's a thing, isn't it? That's not bad.
Yeah, it's insane that they used Ultrazords though, because that's a lot of imagery going on right there.
Yeah. It
Not
was
all of
just
them
super.
has Ultrazords though, did they?
No, I think it was only from when they started, and that was obviously from
Mm,
MMPR. So you saw a lot, and it was just like, oh, let's just throw them at them.
mm. So
It wasn't
I'm
bad.
trying to see what ones there are. I mean, there's a pretty good load. It's curious how they've got. these used in this particular formation. So that kind of solidifies it as an Ultrazord more than anything, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just I think it was just a really cool scene. To be fair, I think it was
Yeah.
more let's see what we can do and then just go fire it. Like I still want to see Zox attach his Zords to it. I think that
Mm,
that's something I want to see more.
yeah. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a really good episode. I really liked it.
Wasn't too bad. I'm not going to give
Wasn't
it
too bad.
high marks. I'm not going to give it low marks.
No, but it's still an episode written nonetheless. So
Yeah,
what should we give this?
I'm going to give it a 3.5.
Okay, I see you there, and I'm gonna give it a 4 in that case, because
Yeah.
it's not quite 5, but it still was pretty good. Still was story orientated. It was cool that they had this new combination, and we got to see all this new stuff, and we got to see revelations of Zox, Hakaiser in fighting, even Milk World, sorry, Dairy World was quite interesting in his own way.
Mm,
But yeah, I do think the only downside to this was CGI not having good textures. I think that's the only thing.
yeah. I think another thing is like when he climbs the building and then he
Hmm.
jumps down.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to go for a sideways slash, but he just jumps on the floor and then fires towards them, and I was just like, that's not how it would work. If you've fallen, you'd have a bit of an impact and
Mm,
then rush. Like so, I felt like he could have just done a charged attack, and that would have been even better.
mm,
But now I'm wondering is if we're going to see this again, or if they've actually made like the suit for it, so it's going to be different. So that's what I'm kind of looking
yeah.
forward to.
Mm.
But
I do think
mm,
that Hakaiser's sort of like rapid fire shots was
mach-
pretty cool
machine gun just waste them all.
though. Mm, yeah, still pretty good.
It'd be
So yeah,
cool if he got. It'd be cool if he got one. If he got Megazord. Stacy's like,
yeah.
well, let's see how long you last. Oh, 5 episodes. Frick
Or
you.
if you combine them, oh.
Oh, that I think that would be cool. I think I'd love to see something like that.
Yeah. So I think that pretty much covers everything. Oh, hang on. We missed the fit message earlier. Hey guys, my Zenkaiser helmet has have arrived, and I brought it from Anarchy Cosplay, and the music video of the helmet is available right now on my Instagram account called Tatake Super Sentai. Okay, I'm not even going to go into that because I ordered something from Anarchy's cosplay in like 2018 in May. I've still not got it, and they
What
still won't send it to me. And it's got to the point where they won't even reply to me now. So frustrating as hell.
what did you buy? What did you order?
I got a Hyperforce Red full body cosplay, helmet,
Uh,
suit. Yeah, for like months on end, they were saying it was like haven't painted the belt, which and like I was like, what? So yeah,
yeah,
let's not
it's
get into that. I
yeah.
think
I
a
know.
lot of people have had problem with Anarchy cosplay. That's the only thing. So I don't
Yeah,
understand why some people are getting their orders and some people are not. I really don't understand it. But yeah, oh well.
yeah.
So yeah, I think that pretty much covers everything. I think we're looking forward to the next episode because that's where
Yes.
everyone's basically gonna have a body swap episode, which
Yeah.
is always good
I
to see.
I am very much looking forward to seeing Flint fight.
Yeah,
Really can't wait for that one. That episode, if it's good, 5, wholeheartedly 5. But we'll wait. I thought it was this
yeah,
week's episode actually. I was a bit.
yeah.
Wait.
Obviously, we saw the images from before, but like, yeah, I think it's gonna be really, really good episode. Personally, me, I'm looking forward to Stacy being the leader of the team, which is very odd,
Mm,
but I think that's just where he switched with Kaito.
Kaito.
So yeah, be very good to see. Okay, so I think that pretty much covers everything. So where can we find you on social media, my dude?
You can find me everywhere on bar Twitter as Elim and on Twitter as Mainstream Life. How about you?
At Henshin Asset on Instagram and Twitter. So thank you, my dudes. Keep watching Super Sentai and stuff as best you can, because I know without the fan subs being directed, it's very, very difficult. But
Mhm.
we can still talk about everything we can, debut-wise and everything as soon as possible. So
Yep.
until the next time, my dudes. Bye.
Bye.